But it's not just the banks who are upping the ante on Vijay Mallya. CNBC-TV18 learns exclusively that the Enforcement Directorate, which is probing a money laundering case against the liquor baron, is going to expand its probe and question some of the prominent board of directors of the now defunct Vijay Mallya's Kingfisher Airlines. Now, this includes the erstwhile CFO of Kingfisher Airlines and top boss at United Breweries Ravi Nedungadi, and also the pro-Vijay Amrit Raj, who was also on the board of KFA, may not be spared either, as will Ashok Ganguly, the former chairman of HUL and a nominated Rajya Sabha member. The ED is probing to see if either of these people aided Mallya in the flight of money from India. So that's still being investigated. The charges are many, and they will try to see if at all there was any kind of siphoning off of capital or money into overseas. But let's understand what this means for Vijay Mallya. So what exactly this means for Vijay Mallya, and what does this mean going ahead? Is it even possible that independent directors could be investigated? And will ED's probe on Mallya and independent directors have a major impact or make the going tougher for Vijay Mallya? We are now joined by managing partner at Ashvin Parekh Advisory Services, Ashvin Parekh, and senior lawyer Gopal Jain. Mr. Parekh, coming to you first. You heard Supreme Court's verdict. They are now allowing bankers to call Vijay Mallya back. So the impounding passport prayer has been heard. But what other options do the bankers have now? And how much of a relief is this in the case of SBI and the lenders?
Well, I mean, I'm observing some three things over here. The first and the foremost is that we're now seeing that gradually, all the stakeholders, and then fortunately now in this case, even the judiciary system, are now getting really serious about the recovery of monies from those borrowers, who've not repaid to the banking system, and under some pretext or the other, they have actually run away from making the repayments. Not just one that we're talking about, but per se for the banking system, this is an important signal to be put out. It's equally heartening to note that now, at least, irrespective of whether it's an early beginning or a late beginning, I'm not debating that, but the right steps in making sure that those borrowers who really take monies from the banking system and they take the deposit holders' money, must understand that they have to repay it. So, and that message should come through loud and clear. And then after one particular case, then there will be other large cases where large amounts of debts have to be recovered from the borrowers. So I thought taking it out to the personal guarantees, and therefore those persons who borrowed, who are the face of, irrespective of their organizations, who are the face to the banking system for the purpose of, borrowing money from the banking system, should also be brought properly to books, is something that's coming loud and clear from these, let's say, proceedings. I would say, therefore, that if we really go all out to recover that 325 lakhs or 4 lakh crore of money that the banking system must get back, this is a good first step to my mind.
Okay, Mr. Parekh, a quick question to you with respect to what we are picking up on the Enforcement Directorate's probe as well. We understand that independent directors and erstwhile directors are likely to be questioned. How much of a case do they have? And is it important that independent directors be made liable or viable to a case of this sort? And is there a possibility that this could come under the scanner?
Well, no. One is to get into and understand the facts, associated with this particular, let's say, a scan or the investigation. Irrespective of whether a person is a shareholder nominee or an independent director, what is being talked about is not being on board, but what is being talked about is assisting, any unlawful activity. I'm not referring once again to this particular case, but any assistance, that is provided by anybody for any unlawful act, for instance. The investigation, if it suggests or if there is an evidence to prove that, then it is not a matter of whether the person is a director or an independent director. Then the matter is the person did connive in some way or the other. So, and once again, from the names which are coming out, very respectable names. So I suppose the investigations may perhaps suggest that they did not have any involvement in this particular, let's say, unlawful activity. But, it's not therefore a general and an open discussion case, and you cannot generalize anything out of it. Once the evidence is collected,
Right.
once, let's say, we find out what was the involvement of various individuals,
Right.
then I suppose we can make something out of it.
So lastly, sir, do you believe that SBI has a case and could recover its money and the lenders could recover their 7,800 crore due?
See, once again, a lot will depend on the personal guarantees, who signed them, what kind of personal guarantees, various individuals have given. I mean, it depends on facts of the case. But by and large, I mean, to the best of my understanding, the way the banking system works is that all personal or all investment or all, let's say, assets owned by the borrower.
Right.
When he guarantees, to the banking system, the repayment, any guarantees that the monies will be deployed the way it was put out in the plans which were suggested to the banking system.
All right.
If that doesn't happen, then the banking system does have a very good chance. I would say.
All right, fair enough, Mr. Parekh. As always, appreciate you joining us on CNBC TV 18. Let's move on then.